Hello everybody, one of the videos. Today we're playing the C64 today, but for a different reason this time. We're doing a episode 2 of a memories video, which of course the first one I did quite some time ago, which is 10 memories in no particular order of the good old days growing up and playing on the C64. And I thought, why not? Because I had so much fun with the first one, we'll do another one, 10 more memories, again like the first one, in no particular order. So we'll start off with number 1 on the list, C64 memories video, episode 2. Let's go. There we go, first one on the list, fantastic game, played loads back in the day, Mario Bros 2, copyright 1987 by The Riffs. Okay, so the game is Mario Bros 2, a platformer released in 1987 for Commodore 64, inspired by the LCD Mario Bros game and watch. It's unrelated to Nintendo's NES game Super Mario Bros 2 or Super Mario Bros The Lost Levels. It's unofficially presented as an amateur fan art sequel to the arcade hit Mario Bros. The first time me and brother played Super Mario Bros was actually on the arcade, which back in the day it was in Folkestone in Kent. Of course, back then it wasn't overly expensive to have a go. We went there mostly with our dad, and every time we went there we always played that amazing game. But I have to admit, back in the day we didn't actually realise that Super Mario Bros was actually on home system. We just assumed it was arcade only, because it was the only place we saw it. Until we got a compilation from one of my brother's friends. In fact, we were quite lucky. We got all that lot, and most of them do still play. So yes, amazingly, back in the day, we didn't actually copy any C64 games. It was all done by our friends. So yes, we're very lucky. But anyway, this game is done by 2 joysticks. But anyway, on this one, I don't know if you can see that, probably not. It had a game on there called Mario Bros 2. And of course, me and brother saw that, and of course, we jumped the opportunity and thought, wow. Didn't actually realise that Super Mario was on the C64. And this is what we got. Now, it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it was the closest we got to the real deal. But again, it's a good fun game to play. Now you can either use 2 joysticks or keyboards, entirely up to you, but it's much more difficult to do on your own. I'm actually using 2 joysticks here. So basically it's a production line. We're working in a bottle factory. Use Mario and Luigi to move up and down the ladders to basically complete the order. So the bottles move from bottom to the top, and Mario has the final say. When the final one is completed, find it, drop it on the floor, you throw it in the back of the van, and you're done. Finish the shift and you both get a well-earned rest. But you've got to try and get to 8. But yes, you've got to work together. So of course, one is controlling one on the left and one is controlling on the right. Move it up and down, and that's all you have to do. But it's difficult when it's some close together. Of course, the more you progress into the game, it's going to get more and more difficult. This is a really good game, but there we go. Fantastic. 530. But yeah, great memories me and brother playing this back in the day. It wasn't quite the game we wanted, but it was a great game nevertheless. So yeah, played it loads. And also, there's a twist to this game, because yes, if any bottles break, you get taken off your boss. Get 3 strikes and you're at the door. Like so. But yeah, a little bit on night shift, which is also fantastic. And so is this. But there you go, Mario Bros 2, brilliant. Next one on the list. Great game once again, great memories this one. This is Grim Graphics, Hercules, Slayer of the Damned. Okay, so the game, this is Hercules, Slayer of the Damned, a 1988 beat-em-up game by Sigma Software, published by Grim Graphics. Again, like the last game, haven't played it out 2 years, but I do like it. But yeah, this one, I think we got it from Toys R Us. It was either Toys R Us or John Menzies, but so many games from there. What drew me to this one was pretty much the same as episode 1 with Trojan Warrior, one of my favourite games of all time. That was Clash of the Titans. This one, Creature Self-Explanatory. This is, of course, being a big fan of Jason the Argonauts. And my favourite scene in that film was, of course, the conversations with the skeletons. Good times. But this one, yes, the artwork is tremendous, but unfortunately the case got Australia, I don't have it anymore. But I do have the cassette, but I've still never finished this game before. It's a tough game, a lot to see, a lot to do, but you've got to try and keep these skeletons at bay. But the main thing you've got to try and do is try and pick up all these icons, which are located at the top and bottom of the screen. Which is quite difficult to do, because seeing your characters move around quite slowly, but also you can try and hit it with your club. But they're actually called labours. You've got to try and find all 12 in the game while keeping the enemies at bay. But it's got a little bit of a barbarian twist as well, because of course you can decapitate your enemies. And of course the visuals are really, really good, even to this day. The music's great. And this was before I played Myth, but again, a really good game. Okay, and every time we defeat an enemy, another one arrives on the scene, but more energy is given to him, so a little bit of an additional twist there. But anyway, there's a symbol, but yeah, you've got to hit it absolutely cleanly. If you don't and it disappears, you have to wait for another one to arrive. Hit it cleanly, it disappears off the face of the earth. These 12 labours are symbolised by icons that appear occasionally on the screen. You have to collect these labours while fighting off skeletons that carry swords. The fight takes place in ancient Greek temples amongst other places. If you hit the labour, it will be put into the urn. However, spiders can steal the labours from you. Kill them with a well-timed blow. If all 12 labours have been collected, you must face the end of game boss, the mighty Minotaur. Which I've never actually done before. I've only seen pictures on the internet and of course on the back of the case. But yeah, there we go. Superb. It's a really good game. Also, that snake at the bottom of the screen has got a little bit of a twist to it once again, because I think, I'm trying to remember from the other days, if it's on your side, then your attack's going to be worth more. If it's on their side, then their attack's going to be worth more. I think that's how it works. But yeah, sometimes you might be having conversations facing away from the enemy. It all depends where that labour is at the moment of time. But again, some nice visuals, a bit like IK Plus, something like that. And that statue at the back has a turning head, which again is a nice touch. But again, a really good game. But yeah, I played this loads back in the day. I really did. I'm really addicted to it. But there's not a lot of enemies. Only 2 in the game. This one and the Minotaur, which of course I've never actually confronted. You have 3 lives located on the bottom of the screen. But yes, each time you defeat the enemies, more are going to arrive. And of course, energy is going to get even more every single time. There's number 1. Again, hit it absolutely cleanly. Which I've done. But yeah, you've got to try and keep fairly close to the urn. Because yes, if the spider goes into that urn, it can take them away from you. Giving you more work to do. Right, so far, oh my lord. Okay, spider. Great. Have some of that. Now I've learned something today. Also, if you press and hold up forward and hold it that way, then your character walks. Which is a great way of getting from left to right or right to left in quick time. However, energy is not good. If you want to try and block, then attack. Ooh, take your head off. That's fantastic. There we go. Brilliant. Fantastic game. Really do like it. Hercules. Slay him down. There we go. Next on the list, Land of Neverwhere. Copyright 1987 by Powerhouse. Okay, so the game is Land of Neverwhere. Again, it's fantastic. This is the second game I played on the C64. After getting our C64 on Christmas in 1987, the first game which included on the first video was the Enforcer, one of my favourites on the system. Then it was this, and it was definitely Deliverance. All 3 of those are Powerhouse games. All 3 of them are absolutely brutal, which I've never finished before. And this one, again, is brutal, but what you're trying to do is basically you've got to rescue the space kids. There's 8 in total, 8 levels, get them to the exit door in the safest secure way possible, while keeping the enemies at bay. And also, make sure he doesn't take any additional damage. The space kid takes 1 hit, he gets knocked into the next century. 7 to rescue. Okay, level 2. Now also in this game you do have an energy bar, which is basically eco, located at the bottom of the screen. And also you have a timer as well. Every time you take damage, your eco will start to drain. You run out of eco and you lose a life. But the most difficult thing about this game is the space kid himself. Now, of course, you cannot fire at the ground, only forward up. But you can also make the space kid jump by pressing down. And sometimes you have to, because you can't kill enemies on the ground. And a lot of the time you're fighting with the stage. A lot of the time you can't see what's going on. So if there's an enemy on the ground, you can't see it. Or there's an enemy in the air, you can't see it. So it's a lot of trial and error on this game. But what makes this all... So yeah, a very difficult game indeed, but I think the furthest I've got is probably level 5, something like that. But also this game has quite an unusual pause feature, which is a little bit like IK Plus in its ways. Which I managed to find by mistake in other days. What you'll do is basically, want to make yourself a cup of tea? Press the space bar. Make way for the can-can dancers, and this absolutely made me laugh my head off back in the days, because it might just seem like your normal dancers, doing dancing related things, but what makes it comical is what happens over the course of time. Yeah. there we go. Unbelievable. That's so quite comical on my headphones. So there we go. It's amazing we can remember. But yes, 1 minute I was just pressing spacebar to see if the smart bomb. Next minute, can dancing with dancing at full speed ahead across my screen. But again, it's amazing we can remember. Certainly makes the pause button a little more interesting. It's a brilliant game. Then the other two games I also got 1987 on Christmas Day. But again, never finished any of them. But again, it's brutal, but I love it. Land of Neverland. There we go, next on the list, another fantasy game, Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, Data East Corporation, 1988. Okay, here we go, Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, also known as Bad Dudes or Dragon Ninja, is a side-scrolling competitive video game developed and released by Data East for arcades in 1988. It was also ported to many computer and home systems. In the game, the players assumed the role of the Taichu Judo, tasked with rescuing President Ronnie from the ninja kidnappers. The game was met with critical success, becoming one of America's top 5 highest-grossing arcade games of 1988. The arcade version received generally positive reviews from critics, while the home conversion received generally positive to mixed critical reception. Now, I was doing a really well doing it, my lord. But anyway, why is this a memory for me? Well, this is actually the first game I finished on the C64. I finished this one quite quickly, actually. I bought it again. I think it was from Tom Menzies or Toys R Us. Again, it was one of those two. But yeah, this one is a lot more easier than the Amiga version. I've played the Amiga version a lot more, but I've never finished that one before. What makes this one a lot more easier is every time you finish a level, you do actually get your energy restored. On the Amiga version, you don't. Also, I've noticed as well, you don't get as many pickups on this one. I don't think you get the nunchucks on this one, only the dagger. But you also get the time pickup, and also the occasional Coke can is also thrown into the mix, which depends a little bit on your energy. So again, it's a really good game. Playing it loads, but not as much as the Amiga. But yeah, the Amiga version is so much more difficult, even though it has more items in it. But anyway, this is actually level 2, and it also, you do have a time limit, and also boss battles have energy bars. But the flying kick, which I'm doing quite a lot, is the best move in the game. You also have the power punch, but yeah, your character has very short range attacks. Which is why I think the flying kick is the best way to do it. But again, a good memory for me. But yeah, on the Amiga, it was Toki, followed by R-Type. On the C64, it's Dragon Ninja. I've always called it Dragon Ninja, always have done. Got boss battle. Not too bad, not too shabby. And again, it's fantastic, I do like it. And of course, I've played the arcade version, that's good as well. It's been a long time since I played that on an arcade machine. But I did play it a lot. Every time I saw it, we always had to go. Right, one more. Fantastic, there we go. Level 3, but again, it's fantastic. What a game. There we go, next on the list, Cliffhanger. Played this loads back in the day, absolutely superb, copyright 1987 by New Generation Software. Okay, so the game, this is Cliffhanger, written by James Day, initially published by New Generation Software in 1984. Cliffhanger is a Wild West themed game based on the popular Looney Tunes cartoon Wile E. Coyote and the Road Runner. And me and brother were actually addicted to this game, we played it loads. Basically, it's on the same lines as the cartoon. We've watched those cartoons to absolute death. He was always rooting for Wile E. Coyote. He tried his absolute hardest, but he never actually managed, I don't think he did, to ever capture the Roadrunner. But of course, he kept on trying, he always did. And that's what you do here. Basically, you play as Cliff, and you've got to try and stop the bandits. Each screen plays like a scene from a film shoot. At the end of the game is use whatever object you find at your disposal to stop the bandit from walking through the scene unscathed. Basically, you have to squish him by any means possible without killing yourself or doing anything wrong. Okay, this one's called Get in Your Own Bag. All we have on a possession is a boomerang. Make it count. Again, timing is key. Fantastic. Have some of that. So basically, in a way, you are the Coyote. So basically, can you do it better? Can you stop the Roadrunner? In order to do this, you're given tools like anvils, boulders, bombs, even a boomerang or a cannonball, and you've got to get it absolutely spot on. And you start off with 5 lives. Right, this one's called Shuggy Bomb. Does exactly what it said on the tin, but yeah, me and brother played this loads, and yes, we did try and try again to try and stop this bandit, and sometimes we did, but only on the occasional level. But it was quite a rare thing. But yes, you've got to get it absolutely perfect. And you're jumping for joy. But again, good times. Really is good times. Enjoyed it. Okay, this one's called About As Far As It Can Throw You. Right, 1 ton weight onto the seesaw, crush the bandit. Simple? We'll see. Timing is key. Not quite. Close but no cigar. But anyway, fantastic game. That is Cliffhanger. I have to admit, admit, I don't remember this one back in the day. This was called Nudge. Basically, you got to try and hit the big boulder with the small boulder. I don't be run over in the process. But there we go. High score, 5,100. Again, fantastic. There we go, fantastic game, it's a classic. There we go, next one on the list is Bruce Lee. Got it in 1988, copyright 1984 by David Soft. Okay, so the game is Bruce Lee, a platform game written by Ron J. Forte for the Atari 8-bit family and published in 1984 by David Soft. The graphics were done by Kelly Day and the music was done by John A. Fitzpatrick. The player assumes the role of Bruce Lee, while the second player either controls the Yamo or alternates the player one controls of Bruce Lee himself. Commodore 64 and Apple II versions released the same year, and the game was also converted to ZX Spectrum and CBC, published by US Gold. It was also the first US Gold game featuring a famous individual, and also an MSX version was published in 1985 by Cobb Tick. The plot involves a martial artist advancing from chamber to chamber in the Wizard's Tower, seeking to claim infinite wealth and the secret of immortality. There are 20 chambers in the game, each represented by a single screen. And that was again due to the read while doing it. This game is absolutely outstanding. Great memories of this one. Got it in 1988. I bought it with my own money. And I think it was from Hampstead Valley Shopping Centre, which again is in Kent. And I haven't been there for about 20 years. And I think it was either Tesco's or maybe Sainsbury's, one of the two. Basically, my mum went off to do some shopping. Me and my brother went to look at some games. And I saw this game. It was cheap, looked good, and I bought it. Again, I knew nothing about the game, I hadn't seen any ratings in magazines, anything like that. I bought it because it looked good. And it was far from good. This game is superb. And I have finished it many, many times, including on live stream. But there we go. Basically, you start the game off, and it pretty much continues throughout the game by picking up these lanterns. Lanterns play a big, big part in this game. And this game also did eventually feature a trilogy, which again is superb. Now this is also, it always will be my favourite version of all time, being the first version I played. But yes, great memories of this game. But yes, these lanterns do play a big, big, big parts. And yes, you've got to try and find all of them to open up secret areas and doors. And keep the enemies at bay. There we go, it's amazing we remember all of this time, but basically, when we got this game, it wasn't actually that long afterwards that my mum and dad had actually split up, and we was actually staying with my nan and granddad for 6 weeks, basically the summer holidays. And we had our C64 plugged into the living room TV, and we was playing this game, and when we go and see our dad, we went on the Friday, and we came back on the Sunday, we couldn't wait to go. We couldn't wait to go and see him. We hadn't seen him since the split, and of course, we got to see his new house. We left in such a rush, he picked us up in his van, and we forgot to turn the C64 off. So this was actually on this screen. This is a very, very screen for about 3 days. We came back and it was doing this. And me and my brother absolutely panicked. We thought we busted our C64. And this power pack, this is the same one, was absolutely roasting. You could have fried an egg on it. But amazingly, it still worked. But very briefly, we thought we broke it. But yes, amazingly, this is actually a screensaver. The top of the screen does actually say pause. Now, I haven't paused it. It paused itself after 5 minutes. But yes, we did have a little bit of moment of worry. Okay, going on to the final phase. Yeah, I finished this game many, many times. In fact, this was the second game I finished on the C4 after Dragon Ninja. And also, it was the first ever game I played that actually looped with increased difficulty. So again, good memories. But there we go, congratulations. Ended it with 56,350 with 10 lives. But again, fantastic game, Bruce Lee on C4. There we go, next on the list, Year Kung Fu. Amazing game, got this in 1989, copyright Konami 1985. Okay, so the game is Year Kung Fu, an arcade fighting game developed by Konami. It had a limited Japanese release in October 1984 before having a wide release nationwide in January 1985. Then internationally in March 1985, along with Karate Champ in 1984. Which influenced Year Kung Fu is one of the games that established the basis for modern fighting games. The game was commercially successful in arcades, becoming the highest grossing arcade conversion kit of 1985 in the United States, while being successful in Japan and Europe. It was ported to various home systems, including home computer conversions, which were critically and commercially successful, becoming a wide best-selling video games of 1986 in the United Kingdom. Again, very, very difficult to read while doing it, but again, great memories of this game. This one we got in January 1989. We got our disc drive Christmas 1988, and this one we bought from Kent Micro. It cost £19, And me and my brother played this to absolute death. Again, what makes this a great memory for me was doing just that. Just like Wonder Boy, just like Lemmings on the Amiga. Me and my brother played it so long, just working together, taking it in turns, and trying to get past this very difficult character, which was this one. This one killed us so many times. We got stuck on this for absolutely hours. We kept trying and trying and trying. Tactic after tactic after tactic, and we just couldn't solve it. We couldn't get past it. Eventually we did. But for that reason and that reason alone, when it gets you, you can't get out of it. But anyway, eventually we got through it, and eventually we made some good progression. But again, it's amazing what you can remember. But I think the best tactic is using the low kick. So basically just kick him in the shin bone. Like that. But again, just great memories of really trying to get past that difficult enemy. And then we go on to chain. So anyway, after that very difficult enemy, we move on to the next phase, which is another location and another character. And I love the fact that each character has a different skill, a different weapon. And yeah, eventually I finished it. However, I don't think my brother ever did. I think he gave up on it, but I just kept on going. And yes, eventually got quite a few back-to-back victories. Again, this was another one that looped. Didn't really get more difficult. It's just a case of how much score can you get. But you also do earn additional lives through score as well. You can get quite a lot of lives in this game. But again, it's a really good game. Your character has a very over-the-top jump, which can really save your bacon for the much difficult enemies that lie ahead. But there we go, another one bites the dust. That is level 6. And this one also put up quite a fight back in the day. Okay, once we finally got past it, we went on a little mini run. We got past 2 characters quite quickly, Chain and then Club, until we reached this character. And there's only 2 females in this game, and this one is called Fan. And we wasn't a fan of this one either, because again, we just kept losing. And again, we just kept on trying. Pretty much what I'm doing now. And eventually we got past it, but Bob pretty much gave up on the Saw character. He said, no more, I'm not doing it anymore. However, I kept playing it, I still enjoy it to this day, but it is still a very difficult game, even though the game is not overly long. But you do get quite a lot of lives, which can be a huge lifesaver, and your crazy jumping is also a good thing in this game. There we go, punch you right in the nose, but yeah, lost a few lives there. But yeah, this is pretty much where my brother got to, and he gave up. But anyway, again, great memories, but yeah, we'll move on to the game now, but anyway, again, great fun, great times, but yes, pretty much using the same move once again, but again, difficult attacks with fast moving enemies. No, my lord! But yeah, that jump, it's difficult to control sometimes. You get a sword right in the chin. Right, last go. We've got 3 lives intact, but again, you can earn quite a lot of lives with score. And you can do it easily like that. Crazy, isn't it? But again, great memories. Yeah, Kung Fu. There we go. Next on the list. Again, it's fantastic, but this game's not getting any easier. This is again another brutal game. This is Bazooka Bill. Okay, so the game, this is Bazooka Bill, a side-scrolling combat game created by Melbourne House for the C64, released in 1985. The game was also ported to Spectrum. It's a clone of the game Green Beret. The game starts off with a soldier known as Bazooka Bill on a mission to rescue General Douglas MacArthur, who's been kidnapped by a Nazi revolutionary factor. The player can use punches, throwing knives, machine guns, flamethrowers, and later on a bazooka. Now, the weapons are very limited, but you can pick them up along the way, but of course they are going to be limited, they always are. But the punch is what you have at the start, and you have that throughout the game, which of course has a limited amount of range. But that's all you have at the start. Now you can select weapons by pressing down, provided not hovering over a ladder or a staircase. But again, use them wisely, but yes, other weapons of course are going to kill a lot more enemies, which goes a much greater distance. But again, I bought this game from John Menzies. Again, I bought it with my own money, but again, it wasn't as expensive back in the day, they never were. But again, me and my brother absolutely loved this game, and we played it loads. And again, we worked together because we just couldn't believe, again, how difficult this game was. You're going to die a lot in this game, and you're going to die early on in this game. You have an energy bar which is draining all the time, but you just cannot compete with the amount of enemies on the screen. There are so many. Every time they walk past you, it drains your energy, and of course you can't punch quickly enough to keep them going, shall we say. So it's going to be draining all the time, but you have 3 lives, and every time you kill 100 enemies, which is appearing on the top of 79, now 82, that will give you another additional life. But yes, make sure you switch weapons when you have them. But even this is not easy to use, because again, there's a bit of a delay, but you're focusing on one side and you get attacked from the other side. But anyway, this game had unlimited continues, which is absolutely essential, provided you can do it quickly enough. What I mean by that is, when you run out of lives, a 10-second countdown will appear above your head. And if you're quick, and you've got to be quick, if you can press F5 before it reaches 0, which is over in a flash, then you can continue. Trouble is, when we were playing this on our own, it was quite difficult to do, because we didn't have the reaction time to do it. The problem is, F7 is below it, and that is also the escape key. So it's quite difficult to try and press that button without pressing F5 and doing it quickly, when there's so much going on the screen. At the moment of time, there's not, that can change very quickly. But when you use a continue, of course, your time is going to be set. So basically what we did was, one person played the game, and one person had their finger hovering over the F5 key, ready to pounce when that timer appeared on the screen. Which at the moment of time were okay, 3 lives. But yes, we will kill quite a few more enemies to get 1 more additional life. But the game is good, and the music is definitely a huge selling point to this game. So you walk into the weapon and it picks it up immediately. Press down and we use it. And again, we've got the flamethrower. I didn't actually realise that has even more range. And it's more powerful as well, and it's a lot quicker to use. But again, an unusual memory to a very different game we bought back in the day. Yeah. 1 key was needed. 1 was enough to keep it going. Not quick enough. Game over, boys. Game over. And the weapon's well off already. That's another death. 1 more level life remains. So that should be the end of the level. There we go. Okay, this is actually area 2 now. This actually is a very, very short area, providing you go the right way. If you take the first ladder you see, that takes you on board to a spacecraft, which takes you onto the shoot-em-up sections, which again is very difficult. So again, one of us will be having our finger ready to press that button very quickly, because you have to be. So now our score is reset, we have 5 lives again, our energy is refilled, but it's draining very quickly. So grab the first ladder you see, and that takes us to a shoot-em-up. There we go, flying through the air. Okay, so takes you to the side-scrolling shooter. Again, your energy's not replenished. However, you're not safe anywhere. You have to keep moving, otherwise your energy's going to drain. If you stay in the middle here, you're still going to take damage. In fact, you're going to take more damage here than anywhere else. If you hit past it, you have to move around, move up and down, and keep shooting and keep killing. If you stay in one place for too long, the level will take long to get past. Keep moving around, and it's over quickly. We arrive at our next destination, which again is a very difficult level. Pretty much everything kills you here. Everything from people, even the rocks kill you, water kills you, falling from the top to the middle kills you. And you also do get cars, and you've got to try and jump over the car, because anywhere else you can't go. You can't fall from great big heights, and that is also an instant kill. And of course the enemies, and of course these boulders, which bounce around, can be killed, but again it can kill you very quickly, and you can't jump over here either. So there's so much going against you. Of course you can't get down there now, apart from falling down, which also is an instant kill. Going down the bottom, we're going to get killed by the water. So yes, it's either drown, fall, don't continue, or get run over. Don't like those odds. But again, a brilliant game, that is a good build. Okay, for next memory, loading times. Of course, not everyone was a fan of loading times. I've never had any issues with it. I enjoy the loading times. The nostalgia of it loading is fantastic, with the bars that appear on the top, bottom, sides of the screen. And of course, some games have images appear on the screen. And of course, some games you have amazing music that plays while it's loading, like Ocean Loaders, for example. But the game I'm loading up now is Way Up Exploding Fists, which my brother bought me on my birthday in 1988. The first ever game he bought me, which of course was Ricochet. And we couldn't wait to play it. So then this took us completely nutty by surprise. This was unexpected. Just when you thought it was safe to go make yourself a cup of tea, it's invade-a-load. And what a wow factor. Basically, what you're doing is you're playing a game while the game loads. What an amazing thing the C64 was doing. We couldn't believe it was doing it. But yeah, our mouths just dropped. We couldn't believe it. Now, the loading times, like I say, wasn't a big problem for me. Of course, some games took ages to load, and some of them weren't so long. Some of them just had the bars, and that was all you had. Of course, some games, amazing music was played, and of course, this is Rob Hubbard's One Man and His Joy, which still to this day, I've never actually played before. I've only seen images on the internet, but that is it. But what a track it is. Now, of course, it's Space Invaders. You all know the rules of Space Invaders. You've got to try and kill all of them. It's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's not all about that. It's just a game you're playing while it loads. The nostalgia of it, the enjoyment of it, and listening to this amazing music. But basically, if you want to try and defeat them all, it's going to be a tough task. So the bullets are very fast, and they're happening at a very fast rate. But the game itself isn't long, and sometimes you just load it up just to play this game. So when the Space Invaders reach the sides of the screen, they go down one more level. Every time one remains, they're going to get faster, and the bullets are going to be more often. But yeah, it was quite rare that we actually did it. We failed? Go again, it's not a problem. It was brilliant, it really is good. Of course, some games had the same one, there was one other one thrown into the mix. Again, most of it was Ricochet, but again, a nice feature. But yes, games, R-Type 1 for example, Landing Everywhere, and also Slime is Mine, did have very long loading times, which again wasn't a problem. But there we go, basically in a free game, and then the game loads up, and then you're good to go once again. What a moment. And there you go, and then your game loads up. Whether you got to make yourself a cup of tea is another matter. But again, what a moment to see this for the very first time. So I got a game for my birthday, but technically no. I got a game and had a free one thrown in. What a nice thing. Okay, so the game is Way Exploding Fist, a 1985 fighting game based on Japanese martial arts developed by Beam Software by a team consisting of Greg Barnett, Bruce Bailey, Neil Brennan and David Johnson. Originally developed for the Commodore 64 and published in June 1985 by Melbourne House. Ports were made for Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum, BBC Micro, Acorn Electron and the Commodore 16. The player takes place in a series of one-on-one karate matches, all overseen by the wise old expert in the background. Once the player defeats an opponent, they move up to the next stage and a more difficult adversary. Fights are not won by using general energy bars found in most modern fighting games. Instead, the player needs to complete and get 2 complete yin-yangs. Any move that connected to an opponent would end the round. A loosely timed or borderline kick or punch would obtain half a yin-yang, while a well-executed move would obtain a full icon. 2 complete icons enter the bout and progress onto the next level. Again, so much to read in a short space of time. But again, this game is superb. It still is. And yes, I got it for my birthday. My brother bought it for me in 1988. The first game he bought me. He didn't buy me many over the years. The only one he bought other than this was Battle Squadron on the Amiga, which again blew me away. And what a game to have one game as it loads and another amazing game while it plays. Brilliant. Now it appears at the top left and top right of the screen your current icons. So there we go, 2 complete yin-yangs, we move up another level. The top left also has your current ranking, which at the moment of time is 3rd Dan. Okay, current the 3rd Dan. Way Exploding Fist topped the UK software sales charts for 3 months, from September 1985 to November 1985. So it was defrosed by Capcom's Commando in December 1985. Way Exploding Fist became a best-selling computer game in 1985 in the UK and sold a grand total of 500,000 copies in Europe. The Commodore 64 version received a positive review in Zap 64 magazine and called it a sizzler, praising the game's sound and graphics and scoring overall 93%. And I can see why, and I got it as a birthday present. Again, a great memory, brilliant, love it. Way Exploding Fist. Okay, final one on the list. Superior Software presents Bone Cruncher. There we go, copyright 1987. Okay, so the game is Bone Cruncher, a puzzle video game for an Acorn Electron, BBC Micro and the Commodore 64, first published by Superior Software in 1987. It uses rocks and diamonds mechanics of Boulder Dash, and the Amiga version was also later released in 1988. And this was the first game I bought for my own money, Christmas 1988, after we got our disk drive. And of course, when we got our disk drive, we were very happy because we asked for one, but it didn't have any games with it. So of course, we got some additional spending money. And of course, me being me, I use it very wisely. This is the first game I bought. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but I bought it from Kent Micro, and brilliant. Really did enjoy it. It's a long game though. And a week later, I went to town once again, and I bought myself this. This is the 5 Konami Coin Hops kit, which of course I mentioned earlier on in this video. This is the first time I played Yar Kung Fu. I also bought myself Stormlord, but unfortunately the case got astray over the years, and also I did buy myself Cockatoni Wilf. That one I didn't play nowhere near as much as this. This one got played to absolute death. But there we go, it's a great game, it really is good fun. Okay, the player controls a dragon named Bono, who operates a soap business. He collects bones from the chambers of his castle and uses them to make soap with a cauldron. He then delivers them to a sea monster situated at various exits of the castle. That way. Every time you do that, a timer will appear at the bottom of the screen with one arrow, one of 4 directions. That's telling you that those boulders are about to move, and the direction you're going to move, and when it's going to happen. And that is going to help you pretty much 9 times out of 10, otherwise you're going to be stuck. Also, you can be killed if you're in the line of the arrow, so keep clear of the boulders. Once you've got the required quantity of skeletons, put them in the cauldron, and again, deliver the soap to the sea monster. Okay, on we go. So again, the timer is again in place. As you can see, at the moment the time is pointing right. However, that's not the right way to go. Eventually it will go up. That will change when it reaches 0. If it doesn't go up, we're going to be stuck here for the rest of our lives. Up we go, there we go. Now, at the bottom of the screen, it tells you quite a lot of information. It tells you how many lives we've got, how many keys we've got, how many skeletons we have, how many we need, and of course, we have the cauldron in place. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it in the cauldron, and again, take it to the sea monster. There you go. Okay, the game uses gameplay mechanics popularised in Boulder Dash and Superior's own Repton series. The player can dig through earth and push boulders, but where boulders will fall if only the air below it is clear. The main difference in this game is that although the characters are depicted inside profile, the camera is meant to be overhead, so objects are not subject to gravity in the same way. Right, with a key, we're opening up and get rid of the earth. The boulders are living creatures known as glues, and rather than just heading down the screen, they will head in the direction the bathing monster is. As such, they will change direction during play, where changes the layout of the maze. This means that the player must decide the order the soap is delivered. Glutes are generally harmless, but can crush the player when they move. And also, this is the first ever game I've played which featured a password system. This one is called What a Man, your password is Gobstench. Now go and wash yourself. But again, it really is a good game, but this game is long. Never finished before, but there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. That was 10 memories, no particular order, but ones I enjoy and remember well from the C64. Okay everybody, that's more than enough footage. Hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely had a blast with this video, but it wasn't an easy task. But I really did have fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was worth it. Until next time, this is Jamie from Warner's Games. Please subscribe and share, please subscribe my channel, visit the fan page, visit the Twitch. Just type in Warner's Games to find it fairly easily. Please don't forget the bell icon and notify you visit load. They're fantastic. A lot of decent videos, with restaurant pleasure, the cheats, have been making, and live streams on Friday night, new time at 8 o'clock. It's a whole lot of week. This one did easy. Bye, see ya. Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels is unofficially presented as an amateur fine art sequel to the arcade hit Mario Bros. Bim bim bim. Okay, so the game is Super Mario's. Okay, so the game is Mario Bros. 2, a platform released in 1987 for the game. And it's a Game Boy. Or Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is unofficially presented as an amateur fan art sequel. Okay, so the game is Super Mario 2. It says it right up there, Jamie. Mario Bros. 2. Mario Bros. 2. Okay, so the game, this is the game that you pick, you can't remember its name. Okay, so the game, this is. You played that one before? I played that. Yes, it's that. It's this. It's that. It's this. That. Okay, so the game, this is Cliffhanger, written by James Day, initially published by New Generation Software, and this is pretty much in the same lines. You've got to try and. I did it. I did it. Do you want to help me stop the bandit? Didn't think so. You did it though. Jasper. What? Graphics are by as you do. But yeah, I'm actually waiting for this screensaver to activate. This does have a screensaver, but unfortunately I have no idea how long it takes to activate. Yeah. My Lord. Jamie, that was so close. The player controls a dragon called Bono, who operates a soap business. He collects soap from around the chambers of his... Doesn't collect soap, Jamie, he makes it. He uses bones to create soap.